Hey third graders, how's it going? As promised this week, we are going to do a lot of fun things, and to start off today, we're going to do a little bit of fun science. And the thing that inspired this activity is watching Avatar: The Last Airbender. My favorite character in the show is Katara, and I know a lot of you have watched this show too and might like water bending. So I'm going to teach you the secret to doing some water bending in your very own house. We don't need many materials for this. The only thing that you may not have in your house or apartment and might need to go get is something called purified water. It just means it's been filtered in a way to take out extra vitamins and minerals and any other impurities that might be in the water. So I found this at Tops. You should be able to find purified water in a lot of grocery stores. So let me show you how this works and what the steps are to doing some water bending. The first thing you're going to need to do is super cool your water. And basically all you need to do is put it in the freezer for a while. The time is going to vary a little bit depending on how cold your water is to start and how cold your freezer is, what the temperature outside and stuff is like too. But in my estimation, usually it's going to take between 2.5 hours, maybe up to 2 hours and 45 minutes in most freezers to make the water cold enough where it's super cold and super close to the temperature of 32 degrees Fahrenheit, but that it doesn't freeze quite yet. So right now I'm going to put my water bottles in the freezer and show you how this works. Alright, so now that the water's in the freezer, I'm going to set a timer and check on it in another 2 hours and 15 minutes to see how it's doing. If it's already frozen, it means I waited too long. So I want to make sure it gets to the point where it's really cold, but that it doesn't quite freeze yet. The other thing you want to do in your freezer is make sure that it's on a flat surface that you can put in and take out very carefully. So the first water bending technique that I would like to try and show you guys is called the instant ice technique. And what we're going to do is take the water bottle out very carefully by the cap, and then we're going to hit it against another object, and hopefully what is supposed to happen is that our water turns instantly into ice. So we'll see how that works. Water bending technique is called the ice tower. And what you need to do for this is find some flat surface with something to catch the extra water that's going to fall down beneath. Put an ice cube or two on that flat surface, and then take your water bottle out of the freezer and pour it gently over the top of that ice. And what should happen is that we'll get a nice tower of ice that forms instantly above those two ice cubes that we put down. And the last water bending technique that I want to try with you guys is something called the skating rink. And what we do for this one is fill up a clear glass with the water that we just put in the freezer, and then dip an ice cube into the top of that glass of water. And we have to do this really quickly so that the water doesn't get too warm. And hopefully what will happen is we'll see ice form on the top of that glass, right on the surface, very quickly. So thanks for watching. I really hope that you learned something, and now you have a trick that you can show other people that I think they'll be really amazed by. So I encourage you to try this, and if you do, send me a picture or send me a video on Dojo, or share it with other teachers. And I'm sure everyone would be really interested in what you're doing in science. Have an awesome day, and I'll be back here for more fun things to do tomorrow.